I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I am coming to you from, the Willam clan of the Boonwurrung people. I recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place and acknowledge that they never ceded sovereignty. I pay my respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all First Nations people who may be listening. My name is Sam Keast. I'm a research officer based at Victoria University, and this Ignite presentation is based on a research evaluation of a program for young people from the African Australian diaspora, completed with Professor Christopher Son, and it's titled The Subjectivities and Space of Possibilities in Youth Programs. Youth programs are often founded on the problematizations of youth. Through constructs from mainstream developmental psychology, youth is seen as a time of incompleteness, as not yet adult, as problem. In addition, well-meaning youth programs can classify young people from certain ethnic or cultural backgrounds as at risk or disengaged. Smuggled into these problematizations are deficit narratives about their communities: hard to reach, newly arrived, migrant, emerging, refugee, all constructing them as citizens in waiting. These are the majoritarian stories which racialise, problematise and marginalise certain communities. Marginalised communities are also encumbered with mainstream desires for their integration, as stated by Windle, 2008. The framing of integration, quote, often diverts attention from racism by concentrating attention on the terrain of cultural difference, and an exclusive focus on service provision and welfare needs continues to locate the problems of refugees with the refugees themselves and as external to Australian society. Thus, youth programs can become mired in individualistic thinking coupled with an absence of critical understanding of racialisation. This is compounded by the dominance of neoliberal epistemologies around youth programs, which decontextualize realities into measurable outputs. Despite the often positive or aspirational tone of many youth programs, they can begin with the assumption from a deficit framing. This is not to say that young people from the African Australian diaspora don't have struggles. Many of these arise from the racism that is built into their education system, that is steeped into Australian history and culture, that shouts loudly from their TVs, shopping centres and passing cars. Despite its inevitable presence, it does not make these young people who they are. They have their own tales of joy that speak of their communities as positive, strong and colourful. For this evaluation project, we adopted a critical bifocality from Weiss and Fine, which understands both the lived subjective experiences of these young people, but also the broader socio-political economic forces at play in their lives. We understand that the incorporation of these realities is central to research that seeks to be informed by an ethic of justice and social change. Although more traditional methods were used, we applied Fuchs and Fine's 2014 Mapping as Method, which offers young people a way to creatively express the multiplicity of their subjectivities and to be a conversation point with researchers. In the mapping sessions, we invited students to depict how they saw themselves in the world. These are some of their maps you see now. In discussion with these young people, we heard about their families, career aspirations, friends, social media, relationships, being a boss queen, sport, happiness, religion, love, and being proud. We heard that had cultural heritages from a range of African countries including Egypt, Ghana, Sudan, South Sudan, Morocco, Kenya, Ethiopia, Eritrea and Congo. In combination, these methods sought to foreground the complexities and details of these young people and to stimulate critical questions for the youth program and of ourselves as researchers. Questions such as, what kind of tales are we telling through our research evaluation? How do we foreground tales of joy that unsettle those problematizations which underpin well-meaning programs? These methods were not simply about giving youth a voice, but also about showing the epistemic injustice of measuring and categorizing youth through neoliberal epistemologies that homogenize and flatten their realities and their communities. By including this mapping in our research evaluation, we sought to expand how these young people are conceived. It was a way to show the organisation that evaluating programs and the young people in them shouldn't be reductive, and that making a place for the colourful, expansive ways young people see and depict themselves could be a valuable source of learning. It is also hoped that such learning will be a part of equipping the organisation to challenge the epistemic foundations and assumptions that underpin policy, funding, program development and future evaluations, to inspire them to expand the space of possibilities for young people from the African Australian diaspora. Thank you.